I want you to picture the scene. I want you to picture the scene. One day you've got one of those ring connectors like that connected to all the connections on the computer, you know, one to the monitor, one to the PC's power supply, and whatever. I think there were a lamp on as well at the same time, a mains lamp, and they've always been connected like that. The ATX power supply on the computer's always switched on, and I just switched socket off at wall there, you know. And cut a long story short, the other day I just, and you know, ATX, they're just a momentary switch, aren't they? You press the switch on the front of the PC and the power supply wakes up, doesn't it? But the mains is there all the time unless you turn it off at wall or turn it off at back. Anyway, this here day, folks, I just leaned down like you do to turn the lamp on, sounds Chinese, doesn't it? I just reached down, turn the lamp on, sounds Chinese, doesn't it? I told you. You turn the lamp on, right? And I heard computer go, I'm telling you, I swear you folks, I'm sorry for overmodulating on your audio. And I could hear hot fans and everything on the computer racing, speeding like mad. I said to myself, whoa, that doesn't sound good. I said, that don't sound good. That don't sound good at all. I didn't even turn momentary front panel switch on. I didn't even turn computer on. Why did it do that? How can you make a 12-volt fan in the computers scream like they've got 350 volts across them? Anyway, I'll take computer into the workshop, I said to myself, but don't hold any hope for anything. I think it's fatal. Still bringing stuff down from upstairs in the loft, folks. All broken down piles here. Scooper. Sorry, Chaser, sorry, MC3000. Nearly identical to the Superstar 120, sorry. In a different cabinet, more or less, innit? Anyway, hey, you haven't seen my audio meter, have you? That's me AF meter. Excuse me. My Corny AF meter. You can just switch in the impedance load. And then it's a passive instrument, so you just couple it directly up, you know, at top there, either these little leads or whatever, and you can see the audio output, exactly how much AF there is at a certain stage in radio or amplifier, whatever you're doing, or you know what I mean. Really handy thing. I found one of me a way I used to do two-tone audio generating when I was a kid. I used to use one of them. That's an audio generator, digital audio generator, one of the first digital ones I ever got, and I used to use one of them, and I used to mix them together like that and do SSB like that, you know, or one of them as well, you know. And anyway, let's get back to that, right? So I brought the power supply into the workshop first. I'm sorry for the chaotic mess, folks. I really am. I'm just organising, moving stuff around, and I pulled the power supply to pieces because I knew it had it. Didn't try to turn it back on, folks. I know that electrons travel so fast. By the time you see the smoke, the damage was done. By the way, I forgot to tell you in that video, I could smell a nice smell after the fans had raced up high. I turned the socket off on the wall. It doesn't matter how fast I turn the socket off, you can't beat electrons, folks. By the time, you know, I pulled power supply to bits, not with the intention to repair this power supply. Please don't try to repair a switch mode power supply. They're very, very dangerous. Try not to attempt it because they're so cheap, you might as well just buy another one. And let me just give you a rough idea of how they work, folks. This is a very common power supply to someone like myself, because if you've played with televisions a lot, you very quickly get familiar with this type of power supply. This is what we know as what we call like a chopper type power supply. We know it as a chopper type power supply. You know it, I'm sure, as a switch mode power supply, but basically it's just very similar to a normal conventional linear power supply, except there's no great big massive transformer. The only difference is, folks, the voltage is much higher. I'm not too sure about this particular animal, but I think it's around 350-400 volts. It's up there. Voltage gets stepped right up. This is primary side and this is secondary side. Mains comes in here, gets filtered up and gets clean, gets regulated, gets changed to DC, and gets set to the right voltage, and then if you like it gets turned on and off. Inside a transformer it like oscillates, and that oscillation in a way is derived off, it's complicated, can't go into it, but it's derived off, and then it's regulated back down from the high voltage right back down to low voltage, i.e. 12 volts and a 5 volts, and I think there's some other supplies, but the big amperage, 15 amp on the 5 volt rail, and I don't know, I think it was about 5 amp on its 12 volt rail. Anyway, cut a long story massive, I smelt the smoke and I put power supply to pieces and I went, oh my God, oh no, look at the secondary side, look at all that, them two ICs, all that, what's that down there at the bottom component, at the bottom IC on the just right hand side. Let's look at the back side of that. Oh, I said to myself, he's had it in, fire that in the bin. Them Stanley knives, by the way, they're for my wrist. So what I should have said in that other video, folks, right, is that if I saw a power supply problem on this side of the power supply, that's the main side, after it had failed, the voltage tends to go lower from that point afterwards, because if this input side fails, the power supply don't get enough input, so the voltage never goes higher in a failure condition. In this case, when I saw that the problem was in the secondary side, after the 300 volts are made, whatever, plus, I knew it was going to be deadly. And because I heard the processor fans speed up to 672 revolutions at a guess, 1,000, I said to myself, chances of anything living there would be, you know what I mean? You know what I mean, folks? So, I said to myself, one by one, instead of powering this machine, hey, first of all, I better tell you people that this machine is your machine. Yes, it's your machine. This is the machine and the only machine that the Cobra Man here has used to put all the videos that you've ever seen, ever, on the YouTube. Every single video that you've ever seen has come from this old pile. And this machine is as fast as Dealer Man. And for anyone that knows Dealer Man, you'll know that you shouldn't be too bothered if it's brought down. Anyway, so I decided to plug the different parts into different power supplies and conditions and have a look at it. But it just so happened, everybody watching, that there were a lot of things connected to the machine at the time. So, first of all, I had my RS232 port tester. Gone on another planet. Gone on another planet, folks, believe me. It just had a basic video voodoo card in it. Another planet. It had a nice television card in it. It wasn't too bad anyway. Used to get teletext and it was very convenient. Talk about fast text, you don't know what fast text is until you've had one of them. Got on another planet. Had a SATA drive in there. This is just a PCI to SATA. Got on another planet. I bought myself ages ago a USB 2 port because a lot of piles I have only have USB 1. This is PCI to 5 USBs. Got on another planet. 2 gig of memory. Gone on the planet. Processor, gone on the planet. What's that? 80 gig HDD. Fucking planet. Sorry, another planet. Gone on the planet. 300 gig. You might just be able to see that little hole. Can you see that hole in that IC there? I might just take backplate off that. I'll have to have a look through some of my other machines and see if I've got a backplate identical and just slot it on. It's the data that's on all this lot, folks. You don't realise that we've lost. Some people talking about, can I put my old videos up? I can answer that question now. Not all of them, no. DVD rewriter, goodbye. I don't know, just a writer drive, you know, normal CD writer. Goodbye! Charlie Oscar, my little USB. You don't understand, you folks. I have my machines doing lots of different things. And I always like to back stuff up. I always put it on DVD-ROM. Eventually it gets onto a DVD-ROM. And before that, usually they go to a stick or something like that. Then they get put onto another machine's hard drive and they get left on the stick. If it's something really valuable, it gets left on the stick and it gets left on the hard drive of the machine that made it, and it gets left on another machine as well. That was plugged in as well, Charlie Oscar. Proving to me that it must have been the 5 volt rail that went first, or violently, because USB only runs on 5 volts. Hey, so been a bad day, folks. Just hang on, go to next video.